Hello there everybody, Sam'sTrains here, welcome back to the railway, and as you can tell, yes, we're definitely in December. You got the Christmas music, so on the one hand you got rid of the dodgy cheesy music, and now you've got some snow as well to watch. And I should point out as well that we've got some snow on the layout. We've had a little bit of a dusting, and I think we can expect that basically for the rest of the month, so hopefully that will make things a little bit more Christmassy and festive over here on the channel, just for December, so hopefully that'll be good. As I always do then, I'm going to start off with a massive thank you to all of last week's Super Chats. And looking at the list, there was actually quite a lot last week, so massive thank you to all of you guys. So it was Michael Aldred again, I've got to thank him. I've got a very big thank you for him because he's donated several times. Jake Darling, again, he's donated so many times. Andrew Keeley, again, more than one from him I think. War Hero, of course, again, plenty of donations from him. These are all so kind. Sam Davies and Matthew Harris, these guys all were very kind with their donations. And if you too want to donate using the super chat, there's a little $ if you're on the PC. Is it on? No, it's always this side, I need to remember that. Which you can click on, and that lets you donate money to the channel to support me and to support the channel and keep it going. And as always, if you donate £5 or more, you will get your very own request run on the show. But you must remember to leave the request in the super chat message, because a few people last week didn't leave their request. I don't know whether they just didn't want one or not, but a few people didn't. A few people did though, so I'm going to do those straight away like I always do. So Backman Manor is one of them. Jake Darling asked for that. He wanted to see the Backman Manor with mixed blood and custard coaches with maroon coaches as well. So that's really good. And Matthew Harris didn't leave a request as such, but he was talking about the 7F. He mentioned it. So I'm going to run the 7F. So we're going to do that in just a second. Today's show, as you can tell by the title, is going to be a little bit about BR locomotives, but it's going to be more relaxed. I'm not going to have any sort of plan as such. I've got some stuff to go through. I've got my piece of paper as always, but I thought it would just be nice to have a bit of a conversation, a bit of a chat, and a little bit of a casual running session. So as you can tell around the layout, I've got a couple of engines ready to run. Not necessarily all of them are BR standards, but I've certainly got a few standards out there, just because I know that they have quite a few fans. People like seeing standards, and I tend to run more sort of pre-grouping or certainly pre-nationalisation locomotives, so it's nice to get some standards running, and I've not done that in a while, so I thought that would be good. But anyway, let's kick things off by getting these requests done. So as I mentioned a second ago, I'm going to be running the Backman Manor with the coaches I talked about, and of course the 7F, which was mentioned by Matthew. He wasn't making the request, I don't think, but because he mentioned the 7F, he said he wanted to see me review it, which I will, but because he mentioned it, I thought, you know, I'll run it for him. And it is a BR engine. Well, it's not. It's, of course, from the S and DJR, I think. But my particular version is in the BR livery, so there it is. And because it has roots on the LMS and that sort of thing, I've let it have some LMS coaches today, which are sort of maroon with silver roofs, and I think they look, you know, almost perfect with just about any locomotive, whether they're from the LMS or not. But that one, of course, is kind of from the LMS anyway. And, of course, I have the Backman Manor class. And of course I wasn't choosing the coaches for this one because they were already chosen in the request. So the front one, as you can probably just about tell, it's the Blood and Custard restaurant car. Then I've got a few of the maroon coaches and another coach at the back, which is, I think it's a full break, and it's probably just out of shot actually, but you're going to see it in just a second. So here goes the Backman Manor then. Oh, no, wrong control. There she goes. Lovely runner, that one. Yeah, and of course the 7F. She has run before on my channel, but I think only during live streams. Correct me if I'm wrong, could be wrong on that, but I certainly haven't done a lot of running with her. So let's just have a couple of minutes watching these run, and they really are two gorgeous engines. So out in front we've got the Great Western Manor class, and yes, she is a Great Western engine, historically, but of course, well, I think she's got a Great Western livery, but I suppose the coaches are more like BR coaches, so I suppose really it's more like a preservation train perhaps in real life. And there she goes just under there. You'll notice I've straightened up this camera a little bit now. Couldn't be doing with all the wonkiness, so hopefully that's better. And these two engines are basically running together, aren't they? They're right side by side, but hopefully that will change now on this camera because of course, oh goodness me, oh that's not good, oh goodness me, that's really not good. Right, let me stop her. I don't know if you caught that. I think you will have done. The Manor class just sort of glid past the camera without her coaches. So I'm going to reverse her back a little way, and we're going to figure out just what went wrong there. There she is. Okay, let's stop her there. and I'll get that other camera on for you, and we'll see where the coaches are. I'm assuming they're under the bookcase. Now, I didn't hear anything derail, so I'm hoping they'll be okay to couple to. Does that sort of third coach look like it's come off though? Oh, this is not what we need during the live stream. That's dire. Let's have a look. Oh no. No, it looks like it's okay. Shall I just back her up then and see if we can get it? Because it's not easy to reach. You can reach it if you move the bookcase, but it's not easy to do. So we'll wait for the 7F to go by, just in case something does derail and knock her off as well. But okay, I'll head down to the front, and we'll get that manor going. Everybody, give me a shout when you see that she's coupled, or when you see the coaches start to move, because I don't want to ram them off the track. Okay, let's give this a shot. Well, this is exciting, isn't it? I didn't expect things to escalate quite as quickly as this, but okay, I heard a bump. Did she get them? Yes, she's got them. Oof, blimey. I've never been so nervous about coaches coming off before in my entire life. There we go. Well, that certainly separated them. They're not running together anymore. I suppose that was the idea, wasn't it, behind the sneaky manor class. So there she goes. The passengers are late, but they're going to be arriving anyway, hopefully. Blimey, that was eventful, wasn't it? So how far? That's 7 minutes in, and we've had a rather interesting catastrophe. And there she goes right now. Oh, she is nice though, when she decides to keep hold of her coaches, of course. It's always nice when that's true. Oh, got a wave, I always forget. Now my 7F has got a little bit of a sort of click to it while it runs, and I think one of the rods is a touch loose, not one of the main linkage rods, but part of the valve gear, and I think I basically took the decision not to do anything about it because it seemed to run fine. Slightly noisy at times, but I don't think it's a major problem, so she seems fine. There goes the manor then with her lovely, lovely coaches, and if we wait just here, oh, we won't see it, will we? Silly boy. Let's go down to the front, and we'll wait here for the 7F. And yeah, I think Bachmann did do an SDJR version of the 7F, didn't they? But I think they're quite sought after, but I really would love to get one day. But no, for now I'm stuck with the BR Black one, and I must say it is smart, isn't it? It really is. Right, let's see if she managed to keep her coaches this time. Has she? Yep, she has. There they are. Well, that is good news, isn't it? It's good to hear. Right, let's give these a break then. I think we'll quit while we're ahead with these. So, as always, thank you ever so much for the wonderful requests. I really enjoyed running those two, actually. They're not two engines that I particularly run that often, so really nice to see those. And of course, thank you for the donations themselves as well. That's really, really generous of you. And I'm going to have to take these engines off before I do any running of the other engines, of course. So I'm going to do that on camera. Now, a few people have said, why don't you use the sidings instead of just taking them off and sort of doing it manually? Well, I'm going to use the sidings occasionally during these streams, but the thing is it just takes so long to get the engines in and out of sidings. I don't want it to get boring, and also because I'm running some engines today, they're already in the sidings, so there aren't all that many sidings that aren't free, you know, and all the points are set ready for the engines to do their little bit of running. So that's the reason. I know it's not quite as nice as it could be, you know, if I had them glide nicely into a siding, but it's the best I can do on a tight schedule. So yeah, I'm sorry, it's not very realistic, of course. You don't normally get gigantic hands coming down and grabbing engines off the track, but it's okay for the stream, I think. And if you want to see some shunting in and out of the different sidings, just stick around, because of course all the engines I'm going to be running during the rest of the show. I've got 6, by the way, 6 engines. And like I said at the start, some of them are standards, some of them aren't, but they're all in BR liveries. So if you want to see them shunting in and out of sidings, stick around and you'll definitely see some of that today. Right, I've got to get up without tripping over the mic. That's always a worry. Just stick these coaches down. Have you noticed if you put coaches down on a table that isn't straight, they roll off it? I mean, it makes sense, but you know, you sod spirit levels and all that sort of stuff. Just get a coach, sit it down, and if it rolls off, it isn't straight. So thanks for those requests, they were really, really awesome. Right, so I've got some stuff to talk about now. I suppose Yeah, Charles Wallace Banbury. I saw that straight away in capital letters, giveaway. So yes, the giveaway has ended. It's now closed. Well, it closed yesterday night, as late as I could. The winners have been drawn, but I'm not going to announce them just yet. And the reason is I want to wait until the winners have claimed their prize. And 3 of them have, and in fact, Spencer and 2 of the wagons have already been posted to the winners, except 1 of the wagon winners hasn't got back yet. And I've given them 24 hours, and 24 hours runs out in about 50 minutes. So check your messages, and if the person that won one of the wagons doesn't get back to me, I'll be redrawing that again, and as soon as everybody's claimed it, I'll make the video, and hopefully that will go out on Monday. So if you're dying to know who won it, just hang on until Monday and then you'll find out. But again, thank you for all of the entries. I had nearly 1,500 entries, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, the way I've drawn it this year isn't as interesting as it was last year, because I can't print off 1,500 names and cut them all out. So I've had to do it in a little bit of a more dull way, but it's fit for purpose and it saved a bit of time. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the Gordon video that went out, Gordon and the Turntable. And if you've not seen that yet, check it out. It's probably, where will it be? It'll be down there someplace if you want to look at it. It's my first sort of Thomas and Friends story, and you're all really, really kind. Everyone seemed to like it. A few people, you know, weren't all that chuffed with it, but that's fair enough, because I'm no expert on Thomas and Friends, and I know that it's a very passionate fan base, and I know that I'm not the most qualified person to be making Thomas videos, but most people, most people were really kind and they really enjoyed it, so thank you very much for that. There's more to come on the Gordon story, but I'll talk about that later on. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, just thank you for being so nice about that. So I thought I would now just take a few minutes to look at the chat and see what you guys are saying, and then I'll crack on with the rest of the day. Like I said, I've not got a lot to do. I've not got pages of information to read about the different engines, because I think that's just stressful. So I thought we'd just run some engines, have a little bit of a conversation on here, and just have fun and talk about things. So if you've got anything you want to talk about, if you've got any questions, anything at all, just pop them in the chat right now and I'll have a look. So N21744 has asked 9F or Britannia. I don't know if he's asking which I prefer or whether they're going to be running today, but yes, they're both going to be running today, and I think I prefer the 9F personally, because I've driven one. I like to squeeze that in, you know that. Let's see, Gordon and the Turntable was so great, I loved it, said Laserjet. Thank you very much. It was actually very nerve-wracking putting that out, because obviously I put out hundreds of videos every year, but that was the first of its kind, so I was a bit worried about how people would take it, or whether they'd find it too babyish or, incorrect or whatever, but no, people seem to like it, so fingers crossed it's gone down quite well. We need a 5 SMT4. I thought he was saying 5MT, but I don't think he has. He's put SMT. Class 05, sadly I need to go, but I'll see you soon, hopefully. Okay, take care. See you later. Trains rule the world, says Kaylee Varley. That's true, they do. Well, they rule my world anyway. I spend most of my time looking at them. Ollie Maddock, what do you want for Christmas? Well, there's a few things I quite like for Christmas. I think I've been given a hint by one of my family. Basically, I don't know if I'm going to be any good at it, but I wanted to have a go at maybe painting and weathering some locos. Obviously, no expensive locos or anything like that, but I wanted to maybe get an old trying engine and try painting it up, maybe into just a matte livery or something. And it's been recommended to me to get, I think it's an air painting gun or something. It runs, you get a compressor basically, you've got an air gun and you can spray paint engines. I don't know whether that's the way to do it or not, but it's compressed air and paint, and it just sounds fun. So I'm going to give that a go, and it's been hinted that I might be getting a little compressor and a paint gun for Christmas, so maybe that's what I'll get, and maybe I'll bodge up some engines in the new year, so that'll always be interesting, and if I do make any hashes of some old engines, I'll be sure to share them with you on here, so that's good. Freight55 says, please give me a shout out. Yes, I've had lots of questions for shout outs. Obviously, as you know, I put shout outs into all of my videos, more or less, at least 3 in every video. But the thing is, I've now filmed all of my videos for the year, and I won't film any more until January, for the new year. So I'm not really putting any shout outs into videos at the moment, so it's awkward having to say no. Don't like to say no, so I'm saying to everybody, come and take part in the live shows and you get your shout out there. So if there's a lot of people asking for shout outs, that's probably why, but I'm quite happy to give shout outs. Everybody likes to hear their name on YouTube. I'm nobody special, by the way, but you know, people seem to like it, and I'll do what I can to give people what they like. It's called an airbrush, Sam. Yes, of course it is. How stupid of me not to remember that. Yes, it's an airbrush. That's the nice way to put it. Thank you. SDJR7F is 7F88, I'm sorry, is on the chat again. Ooh, weathering. You'll really enjoy it. Yeah, I think I will enjoy it. It's not something I've ever done before, so I'm going to go into it as a complete beginner. I got to do all my trench railway stock. I used washers and powders. Ooh, okay. I need to learn all about these things, but it sounds fun. Obviously, I'm just going to stick with the basics to start with. And if I'm no good at it, I'm no good at it. It's probably likely that I won't be any good at it, but you've got to try these things, haven't you? But I don't think I'll be doing it professionally anytime soon, put it that way. I've got a little Christmas tree because I need to find a phone adapter for the lights. It says DMHD trains to the everywhere. Oh, a phone adapter? What kind of why do you need that? Sounds interesting. Anyway, we've just bought a load of Christmas lights. I tell you what, Christmas lights on eBay have become amazingly cheap this year. I've got, I must have bought 80 metres of lights for about 40 quid or something like that. Not one set of 80 metres, but, you know, several sets. And, you know, we're covering the house with them because they're so cheap. So, yeah, LED lights on eBay. Have a look at them. They're really, really cool. Can you please run a J94? Is that one of the 060 tank engines? I think I've got one of those. Yes, I'll try and run that at some point. That would be good. Train Spotter 2003, who won the giveaway? I'm not going to announce it just yet, but I'm going to announce it Monday. So if you can wait for that, I'm hopefully going to try and grab some time to do a video on that at some point. Do you have any plans or goals to enhance filming for 2018, says Matthew Harris? That's a really good question. Yes, I've, in fact, the camera that you're seeing me on now hasn't been used in any videos yet, it's just been used in the streams. But that camera actually films at 60 frames per second, whereas my old camera filmed at 25. So actually I'm going to be uploading at 60 frames per second from Christmas onwards, assuming everything goes okay, and hopefully that will really enhance the experience. So yes, be sure to check that out. Apart from that, I am going to be changing a few things, but I'll talk about those close to the time. But yes, I'm starting to think about next year now, because it's coming. It's not going to be far away. Are you going to do a Christmas live stream special? Yes, I said LaserJet, I'm sorry. Yes, hopefully. The last stream, stream 7, which is in a couple of weeks' time. I can't believe how quickly the time's gone, by the way. But that one, I think I'll dig out a Christmas jumper and we'll run some Christmas trains and talk about Christmas and things. I'm going to be talking about Christmas quite a lot from now on, by the way, but that episode will definitely be focused on Christmas, so that'll be good. The Blue Pullman says Freight 55. Yep, that's a good idea. I like that idea. Jacob Alsop wants to see a Coronation class triple header. That's tricky because a lot of them don't have couplings on the front, which is a little bit annoying, but some of them do, so that might be something I can do. Railway Advent Calendar has started on my channel today. That's pretty cool. I wonder what that involves. Is that a video every day maybe or something like that? I did notice that the Hornby Advent Calendar isn't happening this year, which is a real shame because that was really good last year. Basically, they had an advent calendar on their website which had a door for every day as usual, and behind the door would be a special offer, so you might be able to get a loco super cheap, or you might be entered into a competition or something. I got some fantastic stuff. I got one of their Railroad 440s. It was the Midland Compound, I think. I got it for like 40 quid or something like that. Fantastic bargains, and it was one of the few times I personally ever bought anything directly from the Hornby website. So I'll miss that this year. I don't know why they're not doing it. But yeah, anyway. Speaking of Hornby, thank you for all the support last week with my review of the 14XX. Definitely a controversial review, but I tried to sort of hold myself back a little bit and not go too crazy about it. I did promise updates on this, didn't I? I said, you know, over the next week I'm going to be posting updates on this when Hornby get back to me, and I'm sorry to say I haven't got any updates for you. Hornby haven't gotten back to me. They said they were going to, but they didn't. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It's a little bit annoying. I don't really want to leave it there because, you know, it wants answering. We want answers. We want to know why this engine had the problems that it did and why it was, you know, shipped to us, and you know, why they're not sort of taking responsibility for them. So, you know, if this angers you like it angers me, contact Hornby, tweet them, send them an email, maybe even call them and just tell them, you know, don't just leave this, we want an answer. In the past it's taken them months to get back to me, if at all, and I don't think that's good enough. So, you know, if you feel as passionately about them as I do, and you know, that's where this comes from. I love Hornby and I don't want to see them go. but they're going to at this rate. So, you know, let them know that it's not good enough, and let them know that I personally am still waiting to hear back from them on what's going to be done in the future to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So, yeah, that's all I want to say on that. No updates, I'm sorry about that. I would love to have had an update on that, but unfortunately not. Now, I just saw that a super chat came in, so I'm going to double check on who sent it, because I just missed it. So let's take a quick look. So this one was from Mark Dukes. Hi Sam, me and my daughter Charlotte are big fans. Can you run Emily and her coaches for Charlotte, please? Oh, that's a fantastic idea. Right, I'll try and do that. It'll be either today or in next week's stream. I haven't got a lot to do today, so it might be in this week's stream. So it's Charlotte. I'll call her Charlotte and not Mark, because I guess it's for her anyway. So the only thing is, I don't have Emily's coaches, but I've got some nice green coaches which I could show. So hopefully that will be okay. Right, what else did I want to talk about? All right, well, let's not talk. Let's get some more engines running. So let me think actually. Who am I going to be running first? Okay, I know what I'm going to do first. So we're going to run quite an old-fashioned engine first, and I'm taking you down to the front, but I'm going to have to move the camera, so apologies in advance. I just saw another super chat. Matthew Harris asked for the 7F and 4F double header with Western coaches. The problem with that is that my 4F is DCC fitted with sound, and the 7F is on DC, so unfortunately those two can't double head with each other. But if you've got another idea, Matthew, that would be really, really good to hear. And once again, thank you so much for the donation. That's really, really kind of you. Okay, so I'm gonna, as I mentioned, I'm going to be running quite an old-fashioned engine to start with, and you're not really going to be able to see too much through this nest of wires, but it's the engine behind the DMU, and it's one of the classic Triang engines actually. It's part of the Britannia class, so class 7, but it isn't actually Britannia. The name of this one is Owen Glendower, or Glendower, I'm not too sure of the name, and I'm just crawling back here to open the points. And because she is a BR standard engine, I've put some sort of BR coaches with her. Blood and custard coaches, in fact they're the other half of the blood and custard brake that you've already seen. So let's get this one out. Hopefully she'll get out from behind the points okay. Am I going the wrong way? Yep, I was going the wrong way. And she stopped on the points. Okay, right, no problem. Let's give her a little push. Whoa, that was sudden, wasn't it? Right, now of course, because she's going so fast, I'm going to have to rush to shut this point before she gets round and derails on it. But there we go. Okay, so that's the Britannia. And because you haven't seen her too well just yet, I'm going to put this camera back and I'll stop her at the front for you. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to give you any close-ups today because these cameras aren't very good for close-ups anyway, but here she comes. Whoa. There we go. So that is the Triang Britannia. Well, it's not Britannia, it's Owen Glendower. But it's got the smoke generator inside it. Not that it really is very effective, but it has got the smoke generator nonetheless. And it's quite entertaining to get it running. So she's going to be running again in just a second. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing that. I'm now going to take you over to the church cam. And of course the loco in the foreground is not a standard, so I'm going to keep it to standards to begin with. So we're looking actually at the engine behind the B17, and it's a little freight train, and at the head of the freight train, you can't really see it, but it's the standard class 5. And during one of these streams, I've already run one of the standard 5s, but I ran the green one. So because I did that, I thought today I would run the black version. So here she comes. Whoa, if I get her the right way. With quite a nice big train. It's probably close to the limits of what these sidings can take. And it's some of the old-fashioned sort of rolling stock and that sort of stuff. From Hornby, some of the larger form factor ones. And if I bring you down to the front, you'll see her. Sorry about that horrible noise, I just had to blow my nose a little bit there. Okay, so as usual in my running sessions, the second engine out needs to go onto the middle line. So she's going to do a little bit of shunting for us across the points. And this could be interesting because I'm going to get her to reverse over the points. And I wouldn't normally do that, but because the camera's just there, I thought, you know, you're going to see more. And you know, I know deep down people like to see things derail, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, here she comes. Let's reverse her up. Oops, no, change direction again. Okay, fingers crossed everybody, let's hope nothing comes off. It's not a massive train, so hopefully it won't be too much of a problem, but you never know, do you? Okay, that looks good to me. Yep, That looks fine to me. Okay, so she's going to wait just there for a second or two, because there's one more engine I've still got to get out, and you might be noticing the pattern. Of course, they've all been standards so far, and so I'm not going to disappoint with the third engine. It's also going to be a standard, and bear with me just 1 second while I move the other camera, because I want to get it in shot. Although, in fact, the engine I'm showing isn't actually going to be in shot right now. She's going to have to reverse into the shot. So here's the siding where she's sitting. It's actually going to be 9F, Evening Star, and she's got some Pullman coaches, as you can tell. So hopefully she's going to come out of these points okay, and I'm just going to step in front of the camera. Oh, that's not very professional, is it? Okay, the points are open. So again, I can't see this siding from where I sit, so it's going to be a bit of a hit and miss situation, I think, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to dash down to the front. Let's see if we can get her out. Now, of course, this is Pullman coaches, and my Pullman coaches famously don't really like points. And on top of that, it's Pullman coaches going backwards. So, unfortunately, I've left myself with a bit of a recipe for disaster. Oh, they're going the right way, though. That's a point. Okay, I can just about see them. And I'm keeping them slow, as you can see, just to be on the safe side. And there aren't many of them. There's just 3, I think. And there's the engine, and as you can tell, I'm going to have her pulling rather than pushing. I can't remember who it was, but someone was asking for me to do that a little bit more often, so I thought I would. I don't know how often the 9Fs would have pulled like that. I would have thought they would be more stable going forwards, but I'm no expert, obviously. Okay, shut the points. Ooh, that was a stretch. I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera. Okay, and let's bring her forwards then, and take a look at the train that she's pulling, shall we? Keep her nice and steady. Hopefully she'll be coming back into shot there. Yep, there we go. Lovely. Obviously this is a tiny train for a 9F, but it's a little bit easier to manage, and it means that I don't have to have such a long break to take all the coaches off. Or get them all into the siding too, of course. So here she comes. It looks very unusual, doesn't it? Them going backwards like that. But very lovely. And it's quite unusual to have such a small train as well, but quite nice nonetheless. Okay, let's get the others started then. And people have pointed out that I don't run as much Triang stock as I used to, and that's certainly true of my videos, but actually in person I probably still run them the most. So let's get the black 5, well, it's not a black 5, is it? No, it's a standard 5 started. Lovely Bachmann one, and then Triang. So my 3 favourite brands, we've got Hornby, Triang and Bachmann. Try and keep the Triang going steady, but of course you will want to go fast. Okay, thank you very much for the super chat. I just saw someone sent it in, so let me double check who it was. Oh no, hang on, let me get back. I've just seen a disaster. Let me stop it. Oh, that was very dramatic. I think I might have left a point open or something there. Right, let's survey the damage, shall we? I think the other engines should be okay. I reckon, yeah, they should be okay. So, oh my goodness me. What an eventful day so far. Right, we're going to have to do some hands-on fixing for this then. Okay, I think we might be back. Let me double check. I do apologise. Are we back? Tell me in the chat if we're back. Right, I'm totally confused. £40,000 of delays in just 3 minutes. Right, just let me know if we are back. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Right, I don't really know what happened there. So, tell me, was the last thing you saw this crash? Right, so I got out of my chair to go and sort out this crash, and then I heard the computer restart. The computer just literally restarted. It shut down, and that was it. And I was just like, whoa. So luckily I managed to get it back on. Then the camera wasn't running. I couldn't get the feed from the camera. So absolutely no idea what happened there. Really sorry about that. Goodness knows what went on. So hopefully everything's okay now. The crash was interesting. I don't really understand what happened. I know I left the point open, but why the B17 got the brunt of it, I don't know. I don't know why the 9F crashed into that one. But anyway, let's get her back out of the siding, shall we? Blimey. Well, it's certainly been eventful, hasn't it? Just luck isn't on my side today. So anyway, yeah, if it goes down again, I don't really know what the problem is, and I'm not going to look into it right now, but if it goes down again, just be patient. I'll be back as soon as possible. Well, I'll try to be. And right, let's get the 9F going again. Right, I haven't seen the standard 5 for a little while. Let me just check that she's still running. I think she is. Yep, she's still running. Okay, everything's okay. So, yeah, I just literally was fixing the crash. Oh, the point's still open. I've not shut it. Oh my goodness. Is it still open? I have shut it. I'm a nervous wreck. I tell you, I'm a nervous wreck. So hopefully everything's working again now. I've never had the computer restart while I'm doing it. I suppose I could have hit the restart button. Oh, the Mobius isn't working. Hang on, one of my cameras isn't come back on. Let me fix it, one sec. We might have to live without that one. But anyway, yeah, there's a little button here at the front. I suppose my leg might have pressed it, I don't know. Let's check all the cameras are still working. We've got this is an interesting fault. When you first turn the computer on, this camera comes through green. And I'll show you what you've got to do. All you've got to do is unplug it, like this. One sec. There we go. Plug it back in again. And then all of a sudden, it's not green anymore. So, yep, I don't know why it does that. But it was only a cheap capture card, so I suppose that's fair enough. But anyway, I think everything's working as it should be now. So finally, we can sit and watch these engines run for a couple of minutes, assuming nothing else goes horribly wrong. There we go, that camera's just come back. Let's see if the Mobius has come back yet. No, we haven't got the Mobius back. Okay. I'll try once more to restart that other camera then. And if not, we'll have to live without that one, but at least it's not one of my main cameras, we'll put it that way. Right, let's get it in again. Right, if I press this button... Right, we'll see if that works. Anyway, blimey, that was eventful, wasn't it? So James Pilbeam says, what's your favourite BR standard loco? Well, it's probably the 9F. Specifically not Evening Star, but the BR Green version that was at the Great Central Railway. We've still not got the Mobius. Never mind. Because that's the one I drove, and I know I'm always talking about how I drove one, but I'm quite proud of that. I thought that was a really, really good day. So yeah, it's probably the 9F in general. Not necessarily because of the way they look, but just because, you know, I've got fond memories of them. Oh, I've just missed the... Actually, this camera's lagging rather badly, isn't it? Put your hands in front of it though, look, and the lag stops. Take your hands away, it starts again. What a bizarre camera that is. Anyway, never mind. There we go. Seems to be okay again now. Right, shall we stop these then and have a little bit of a break? Oh, we haven't got this camera on yet either. Right, let me see if I can get that sorted. 1 second. Let's deactivate it and reactivate it. No, have we not got that one? Okay, interesting. Let's figure this one out then. Shall I unplug it and plug it back in again? That's always a good thing to do, isn't it? Just please yourselves for a second. I'll give it a go, I suppose. See what happens. Right. Well, that might put an end to the running sessions then. It might. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's just wait for that other engine to go by. I want to give the camera a little bit of time before I try to access it again. But the thing is, you sometimes have to restart the broadcasting software before they'll get recognised again, but maybe. I don't really have time to do that right now. Let's try it once more. See if I can get it back. No, looks like that one is... Oh, it's back. Oh, thank goodness for that. Right, so I can do what I was planning to do then. We can still carry on with the running session. That's quite nice. So I'm going to come and sit here at the front. I am sorry for the technical botch up today. I don't understand why it happened, but it seems to be working again now, so hopefully I got away with it. Okay, the standard 5 has been going really nice and steadily compared with the Triang Britannia, who's been flying round. And as usual, they've all arrived together, so it's a bit of a scramble to get them to stop. But there we go. I think they're all in shot there. Yep, just about. So hope you enjoyed seeing those as much as you can with all the smashes and bangs going on. Blimey. Anyway, yep, they're okay. And the 9F is fine, by the way, and all the coaches looked okay. I did demolish one of the trees on the layout in the process, but no harm done. I can hot glue that back down again. So, oh, I'm a nervous wreck after that. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll have another Q&A. Well, not a Q&A, just a little chat. I'm going to double check the super chats just in case anybody decided to send anything during the little mess that I caused. So Jake Darling came back and said, I think I'm pushing my luck now, but how about BR Green Tornado, mixed BR cream and maroon, and cream and chocolate with a green diesel on the back, your choice. Oh, blimey. Right, I'll have to get my head around that one. I'll come back to you on that one next week. Michael Aldred wanted to see the P2 with 12 coaches when you get a chance. My goodness, I don't know if I'll be able to do 12. But yeah, that'll be one for next week because the P2 is also a DCC engine. So I'll get the DCC controller running next week and we'll do that. And I've just seen Stig Diggs send me one. He said, "Hi Sam, for me could you please run a Southern West Country class pulling 7 Southern coaches being banked by a Southern N class?" Okay, that sounds interesting. I'll try and do that next week as well then, if I get time. Hopefully that will be okay. Thank you very much for the donation. That's really, really kind of you. So let's have a little chat then. I'll get my breath back a bit after that mess up, and then shortly after that I'll go for a little bit of a break and I'll get these engines back into their sidings, and then we'll be able to carry on, hopefully, as long as everything's working. Let's see if that Mobius is working. No, it isn't. As long as everything's working, we'll go on and do the other half of the running session and get that B17, if you're still up to it, running, and a couple of other engines that I've got ready. So let's see. Let's see, whose attic is that? It's my attic. I don't break in and use it to film. It is my attic. Can you have Emily pull LNER Flying Scotsman coaches? Oh, that would be nice. I suppose really they would be pulling that sort of coach, wouldn't they? The Sterling singles, I mean. So that's a good idea. Could you show us the H class, says TrainFan28. Yes, I'd love to get that one running again. I will have to do that at some point for sure. Is Railmaster good, like Hornby Railmaster, says Hitman Delta Games? Yeah, it's not bad. It's when it works, let's say, it's really, really good. It is quite glitchy, and there are a few sort of, again, design issues with it. The biggest one with me is if the program goes wrong, if there's a little bit of a bug or it crashes, it cannot respond in any way for a certain amount of time, and you either have to restart the program or wait for it to respond. And during that time, the emergency stop button doesn't work. You can press it and the button, it's not frozen, you can press the button, but nothing happens. And you know, if a loco derails or something, you end up with it just going and going and going, and you can't stop it, and you have to just unplug the controller. It's not a great design, to be honest, but when it works, and it is good, and I do use it, so that's cool. What's the most obscure loco you own, said James Pilbeam. Shall I go and get it? You've seen it before probably, and it is quite obscure. It's not a loco that's ever, I don't think, ever been produced ready to run, but it's certainly an interesting model. Let me just grab it. Some of you, well, most of you I bet will have seen this before, but you might not realise that it's obscure. Okay, so it's this. It's a turbo motive, which of course in real life was quite similar in size to the Princess Coronation class. No, just the Princess Royal class, as you can see. And it's actually based on one of the Triang Princess engines, but except, you know, it's been converted over. So yep, that's the story with that. Really nice engine. It's you know, it's quite an old-fashioned looking thing, but I really like it. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to get these engines back into their different sidings, and I'll be right back in just a second for a little bit more running. So I'll go for a little bit of a break. You can listen to me Christmas music again. Hopefully you'll like that, and I'll see you in just a few minutes. So thank you all for coming and watching, and I'll be back in 5, hopefully. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay folks, I'm back. Right, well, if you've only just joined, what a time to join. It's been quite eventful so far. We started off with coaches becoming uncoupled from engines, which is fair enough. Then it went a little bit worse than that because we had a train crash through the sidings and demolish a couple of trains. That happened right there, folks, just there. And then for some reason, I still don't really know why, the computer decided to restart and the stream was cut off, and everybody thought I'd been murdered or whatever, I don't know. Hopefully things are going to be okay now. I have no idea what's going to happen, but hopefully everything will be okay. I did have a request. I've had lots of requests, by the way, through the super snooper chats through super chats. So thank you so much for those. Some of them are quite long-winded, let's say, so I'll have to do those next week. But there was quite an easy one from Charlotte and Charlotte's dad Mark, who wanted to see Emily with her coaches. So very quickly, I've just put Emily on there. She's a lovely single wheeler, and actually, even though she is a single wheeler, she can't pull, well, because she's a single wheeler really, she can't pull a lot of coaches. So I've given her just one for the safe, to be on the safe side. But that's okay because it's a VIP train, think of it like that. Only the most important people can ride on it. And I noticed the tender was acting a little bit dodgily just then. I think we're okay though. Yeah, we're okay. So I thought I'd let Emily just run round for a second. In fact, let's give her one lap, shall we? One lap of honour, because she's going nice and gently. So, oops, you saw me for a second there. So hopefully you'll see her storming up, I think storming is the right word, storming up the main straight. And having said that, she has just stopped on the points. So, well done there, Emily. And of course, Emily was the star of my video on Wednesday. Well, she wasn't the star. Her and Gordon, I should say, were the stars. And she has stopped, so just abuse yourselves for a second while I put her back on. There we go, that's better. Oh, I don't know, it's one of those days, isn't it? Now, I think the back camera still isn't on properly. It might be. Shall we try it? No, it isn't. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to wait on the other side of the bookcase and see if we can't get it to... See if we can't get her, sorry, in the shot when she comes out. Luke Dehan says, hi Sam. So, hello Luke. Hope you're enjoying the show if you can. It's been very eventful, but things seem to be going a little more calmly now, so that's good to hear. So let's just wait for Emily. She should be in shot any minute now. A few seconds left to go. Come on, Emily, show yourself. There we go. There's Emily. Thank goodness for that. Lagging very slightly on that camera. Yeah, that camera is slightly old webcam, that one. It's not as good as the rest. That's definitely true. But there she goes, ambling round, and she's just coming into the front now. So I'll stop her and take her off, and then we'll move on. And I'll show you some other bits and pieces that I wanted to show you. Blimey, it's 10 to already. I can't believe where it's gone. Well, I suppose when the whole computer shut down, that cost a few minutes. So I am sorry for the few minutes of silence you got from me there. Hopefully it won't ruin things too much. Okay, so that's Emily. Thank you very much, Charlotte, for that idea. In fact, it's been a little while since I've run Emily, so thank you for that. I'd love to see her again, and I think actually personally she quite enjoyed that as well. So there we go, that was a bit of Emily for you. Hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for the super chat as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Christmas then. Obviously Advent started today, and I did hint last week, in fact I had the idea during last week's stream, that I was going to look at some Advent calendars. So I thought I'd show you mine, and if you haven't got one of these, this is what you need to get. In fact, they'll be going cheap now, so get them. This is mine. As you can see, I've opened door one. It's the Lindt Advent Calendar, and I've got to say Lindt is the nicest, well, it's the nicest chocolate I've ever had. It's absolutely gorgeous. And today I got a big reindeer. On the back you can see it actually. There it is. That's what you get on day one, and then on the other days you get sort of little truffles and tiny little chocolate bars, and then on Christmas Eve you get a giant chocolate Santa, and like I say, it's the nicest chocolate you'll have ever tasted. And in fact, we buy boxes of Lindt chocolate just to have at Christmas because it's quite expensive, but at Christmas you can have it. So, you know, this is the best Advent calendar I've ever had, and I've had them for a couple of years. They're really nice. So send me pictures of your Advent calendars, email them to me, or, you know, tweet them to me, Facebook them to me, and I'll look at them on next week's stream. So get to that if you want to, and we'll see how that goes. I've got some Wall of Fame entries to go through very briefly. Didn't get too many this week, but still quite a few. So here's one from Chloe A. This is what looks like maybe the Hornby Oliver, or it might just be the Backman one. I'm not too sure, but there it is anyway. Very lovely that is. Then we've got Justin C, who showed me, oh, I don't know what this is. Looks like some kind of action figure strapped to a train. Reminds me of that big robot in Fallout 3. Obscure reference, wasn't it? So that's cool. William S has got a picture of Stepney, which I believe is on the Bluebell, I suppose. So that's very nice, I love that. And Philip P sent me this, it looks like Clarabelle or Annie maybe. I thought this would have been on a layout or something, but it actually looks like it's a real photo of a real railway, because I can see people and cars in the background. So that was very interesting, it messed with my head a little bit, that did. And then finally SDJR7F88 sent one in, and this is probably his layout. He's been building a military layout recently. I don't know if that's the military one. Can't really tell from there, but it is very lovely, and it looks like a custom engine with maybe even a custom coach, or is that a station? Can't tell, but it's very, very cool anyway. So thank you for those. If you'd like me to show any of your photos on the show, just send them in to Sam'sTrains@outlook.com, and those are full of Wall of Fame behind me, so of course they get put up tomorrow. I'll put those up. So that will be good. So thank you very much for those. So now then, without any further ado, let's take a look at some of the engines I'm going to be running for part 2. So I'm going to set up, let's just check this Mobius camera again. I did restart it again, but no, it's still not on, so I'll have to stop checking that one. Okay, so let's deal with the inside line. And we're moving on now from standards to sort of, well, I don't know what you'd call, what's the opposite of standard? Not non-standard, but engines that aren't necessarily the standard classes, and this isn't a standard because it's a DMU. So I think this is the 101 DMU, or no, it's the 110, I think, something like that. So yep, this one is a lovely 3-car DMU. It's quite an old one. It's a Hornby one, as you can probably tell, and I really do like these. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing this one run. I've just set the points, so she's ready to go. So I'm gonna get her going, and hopefully she won't derail. Let's fingers crossed, please, that she doesn't. So a little bit of juice. Get in the right way if we can, and there's that. Okay, let me get the points shut again, because I don't want any more point catastrophes, thanks. I've not been very vigilant today on the points, and it cost me, as you could tell. Okay, right, let's take a look over here then, because this is what I originally thought was a standard, but I don't think it is. I think this is an IVAT class 2MT. No, not a 2MT, silly boy. No, it's an IVAT standard, no, just an IVAT class 4, there we go. Got there in the end. The standard class 4 is, I think, a 460, and this particular one is a 260, so yeah, slightly different. Anyway, this one's going on to the middle line, I think. So, in fact, if I keep her nice and slow, I'll be able to follow her out. And in fact, if I move the camera quite quick, I might be able to just open these points in time. Oh, look at that. He's doing tricks. And she's got a little bit of a goods train because, as I say, they were mixed traffic engines. So that means they would have pulled coaches or goods. It doesn't matter. They could have done either. Or maybe even both at the same time during the war. Who knows? I don't know if these were wartime engines or not. Okay, I might as well send her on her way then. And let's have a look at the other engine then that's going to be running. And you've all seen it because it was involved in rather an unfortunate accident a few minutes ago, so hopefully it's going to be okay. But this is actually natively an LNER loco. It's a B17, and although it's, you know, from the LNER, as you can tell by the tender, it is in an early BR livery. And I suppose you can tell by the engine too, because they never had paintwork like that in the LNER days. So can you hear me? Yep, you could hear me. Oh, I thought the mic had gone then. So, as I say, I'm going to make sure all the points are set properly to begin with. Just to, you know, make sure we don't have that again. But here we go then. This is the, let's see, is it Gresley design? I think it is. B17. It's a lovely 460. And she's going the wrong way, of course. Okay, forward you come, love. And hopefully I did a good job of putting those coaches back on. And hopefully they won't have derailed. I can't tell whether they have or not at the moment. I don't think they have though, so that's good. Right, let me shut the point. And there we go, they're all running. I think they're all running quite happily, so that's good to hear. Okay, let's have a quick watch of these going then. And of course we haven't got the camera running now at the back of the bookcase, which is a shame, but you know, it'll be fine for next week. It's just, I haven't got time to restart the software again. So the B1 is actually going at a nice gentle speed. It's perhaps got some old people on board, I don't know, but it's being very careful. Oh, look at that, they're all running together. That's cool. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yep, there she goes, with chocolate and cream coaches, of course. Just 3 of those. I've been quite a fan of 3-coach trains today. I don't know why. Let's have a look at the 110 then. I think that is a 110. People have me for that if it's not, but I think it is. There she goes. And we might get a few of them crossing over at the front. Yep, maybe the 110 is on its way, just about. Where is she? Yep, there she is. And then just coming by the church, we've got the very, very lovely IVAT, which looks like it has derailed, but it's still running. So that's nice. I suppose that's to be expected today, of all days. So let me just put that back on, very subtly there. There we go. Right, now the B1, no, not the B1, the B17 has decided that it's had enough. And I kid you not, I did not do this on purpose, but in fact you will have seen it. Let me show you. I've just noticed that the B17 has decided it's had enough, and so it's come along this siding here, and it's got itself up onto the turntable. So I think that's it. I've just seen it crash into the buffers. So yeah, I think she's done for today. So on that note, let's stop these other guys. I don't know, it's been a bad day. And I always try to run locos that are reliable as well. And I think about 2 out of 6 have been. So yep, I think that's got to be a record, but the good news is it can't get any worse. Oh, don't say that, we're not done yet. Okay, so let's bring these into a stop then. We've got, I think the 110 might be arriving first. Lovely DMU, this one. Still runs really nicely too. Okay, bring her to a halt just there. It's a lovely DMU, that one. And I've just sped up the IVAT class 4 MT because she's dragging her feet a little bit. So here she comes right now. Oh, if she hasn't derailed again. No, I think she's okay, just about. Never reviewed this one. I've had it for quite a long time, but I've never reviewed it. So if you want me to, I will do. But there she is. Okay, and of course the B17 has decided to opt out of the running session by jumping up onto the turntable. But that's okay. I don't think I left the points set wrong. No, because they were running for ages, weren't they? So yes, that was very interesting, to say the very least. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that running session. If you'd like to see crashes and accidents, I suppose that you will have enjoyed it more than most. Let's take a few minutes then to have a look at snups. I haven't got very long, but I will nip on and show it to you. So let's have a quick look now. Let's see what people have been up to on snups. So let's take a look. Let's have a look through the feed actually. So we've got the train collector. Now this is quite an appropriate photo, I would say, because it says derailment, 18-inch curves and speed do not mix. Oh blimey, it looks like it's got quite a bit of a mess going on there with the scenery and such. So I hope that engine was okay after that. That does look very rough. Charles Wallace Banbury, he's got his Oliver here, which I like. I've already seen that, obviously, and wowed it. I like this. This is Scarlowy, of course, also Charles Wallace Banbury. Thanks for that. Andrew Keeley has been showing some what look like American diesels. I like this one. That's an Athern. They're always very good engines. Thomas Fodder there. He's got a 45XX Great Western engine. I'll wow that because I like those. Andrew Keeley's dogs, I think. Oh, I like their Christmas coats. He's not wasted any time getting their Christmas coats on, has he? Well, I like these. I wonder. So Charles Curtis, American Flyer, S-gauge scale. So definitely not the scale that I'm familiar with. But I'd like to know who made those. I'll wow one of them anyway. Brian H has uploaded what looks like a county class, and you can always tell they're counties because they've got that sort of running board with a slope on them. Not sure why they had that. It looks like it covers up the reverser rod, maybe. I don't know. These are quite nice. SEM 34090. What look like maybe some LMS engines, to guess, possibly. That one might be an N2 maybe. No, it's an E4. Silly me. Does it look like an N2? Well, I suppose it does a bit in the BR black. Anyway, those are lovely. And is that the J94, this blue one here? From Rex 88. I like that one. I love the blue livery. That would be one to get, I think. And yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff. So if you can see you on there, well done. You managed to get onto the stream. And I'll keep doing this. I'll do this for the next couple of weeks. So if you're desperate to have it shown, keep showing your stuff, keep uploading photos, and I'll come along and check them out. And what on earth have I just seen? Pork belly poke and bone daddies. My goodness me. Looks like a bush tucker trial, doesn't it, that? Goodness me. Very nice, though. I'm sure it's very, very tasty to eat. Anyway, I think that'll just about do it. So I better give you some hints for next week. So as I said earlier on, I hinted, you've seen the Gordon video, and thank you again for all the support with that. There is more to come with the Gordon situation, though. There's no more story, the story's finished, but let's just say, if I put it cryptically, and some people have guessed this, you're going to see the same story again, but from a different perspective tomorrow, so figure that one out. Then Monday, of course, it's going to be the giveaway announcement, as long as I can find a winner for the third wagon. So again, check your emails tonight, check your messages on YouTube, because if the current winner doesn't get back to me, I'll draw another one. So it could be you, so don't give up hope just yet. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be doing another railroad locomotive review, and it's actually the first review I filmed on this new camera, and it didn't go, well, it was okay, but of course I wasn't used to using the camera at that point, and I think the sound is quite distorted in some places. It's just a bit too loud, so I'm sorry about that. I did fix that problem, and for future videos it should be fine. So hope you enjoy that. Let me know what you think of the new camera during the review. My filming using it wasn't at its best during that first video, but hopefully it will get better, and certainly for next year, you know, hopefully I'll be used to it. So let's say some goodbyes. Let's see what people are saying. Michael Aldred, need to get those points electrified. Yes, that's true, and if one day I get off the carpet, that's one of the first things I'll do. James Broughton, sorry I can't send a super chat, but if you would run either the Terrier, B12 or Coronation with passengers or goods, you choose. It's a request from my dad. Okay, that sounds good. Those are all engines I run quite often, and in fact I know the Terrier is coming in a video quite soon in December, so hopefully you'll enjoy seeing that. I think that's just about it. Bye Sam, hope you have a good rest of the month, says King Henry TGE. Intercity 125 says, was it the 14XX? Well, that's the question, was it? I don't know. I would like to see Flying Scotsman with 5 teak coaches, says Vlogs and Games. That's a good idea. I think that's a train I put together quite often, so check out on the channel, you might be able to find that happening. Goodbye and Zig Zeon, says UFG 2036. Absolutely. I don't know what that means, but you're absolutely right, yes. Mark put the same story, but from Emily's view. No, not quite. Right sort of idea, but not from Emily's view. See you in the next stream, says Dork Jones 92. Yep, see you next time. And with that, I'll say, I'm not going to say thank you 30 times. I might say it 2 or 3 times, but not 30 this time. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for putting up with the technical problems. I mean, obviously derailments and things are expected, but the stream cutting out halfway through wasn't ideal, but hopefully it didn't ruin things too much. And we've still got 100 viewers, so that's good. You did stick with me. If that happens in the future, I can only apologise, but obviously there's not a lot I can really do. I do make sure this computer is updated and everything before I start, so really it's just, you know, whatever. If it happens, it happens. But it hasn't disrupted it too much, I hope. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for the super chats once again, and of course I'll thank you all again in in the next stream, but I will double check who actually sent super chats so that I can thank you all now. So a massive thank you to Mark Dukes and Charlotte, of course, Matthew Harris, Michael Aldred, Jake Darling and Stig Diggs. You all had awesome requests. If I didn't do it today, I will try and do it next week. So thank you all for those. You are really, really kind and you're keeping me going. So that's really, really kind of you. Thank you once again for the last time. I hope you have a lovely weekend and, of course, enjoy the fact that it's December and that Christmas is just around the corner. So thank you all. For the last time. It'll have to be the last time. And I will see you all very, very soon. In fact, tomorrow for another video. So cheers, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. And I love you all. You know that. Okay. See you soon, everybody. Well, that is the end of today's stream, but if you would like to see some more of Sam's Trains live, don't forget to pop back next Friday at the same time, 5 PM UK time. And in the meantime, if you've got anything you'd like me to do during the next stream, or if you've got any topics you'd like me to discuss, please do let me have those before next week. But for now, thank you once again for your company, and I will see you all back here very, very soon.